cards, you know.
That's 8 pages.
And, you know, I hope we don't, they don't close before we anyways, it's entitled The Retirement Speech, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, okay, it says,
Daddy, it's be really loud.
okay.
Sing it.
Let me first thank the St. Agnes Choir for the retirement dinner party. Inwardly, I was hoping I'd be able to slip away quietly. But I'm grateful for the trouble all of you have put yourselves through to do this for me. Present among us are my daughter, Patty. Patty's over there. Her husband, Jake Martin.
Hi, Jake.
And this is Jake. And then Kit Knoll, wife of the late Jack Knoll,
Yay!
Amazing,
who played a prominent role in the choir's history. Anyways, the St. Agnes Choir has always enjoyed a good singing reputation, but excels even more at giving parties. This is due in large part to people like Ingrid Schmidt and Bobby Quinn, among others. And let us not forget the master chef of those delicious apple cakes, Tom Healy.
Yay!
I don't have to tell you how much I'm going to miss singing those short solo parts of the Mandatum during the Lenten Triduum, with everyone on the edge of their seats worried that I won't mess up. At least, Joe and Henry, you will no longer have to worry about having me throw you off key. However, I'm a little dejected about not being able to tease Stacy's daughter Abby about having chosen NDB High School instead of Mount DeSales. On the other hand, I must admit that my spirits were lifted upon learning that Jim's wife Cheryl was a fellow nutmegger. To those unfamiliar with the term, it means we're both from Connecticut. You might ask why I have always maintained a close friendship with Marilyn. It's not just because I appreciated her willingness to serve as the choir's music librarian for many years,
Thank you,
Amen.
but rather that her tote bag contained a 3-hole puncher. Okay. On a separate matter, if there were such a thing as a St. Agnes Unsung Hero Award, in my estimation, no one would be more worthy of it than our organist and occasional director, Melissa Bigford.
Yay!
Despite her struggles with debilitating medical issues, she has continued to show up faithfully at choir practices and scheduled masses. In short, to be there for us. I know I can speak for the entire choir in expressing a most sincere thank you, Melissa.
Yay!
As for the choir's mascot, Scout. Scout has been a welcoming relief, especially when singing some of the more difficult musical pieces. At those times, it did bother me a little to see Scout cover his ears with his paws. But it really upset me to see her smile when I said I was going to retire. It would be a dereliction of duty if I did not use this opportunity to thank Tom Healy, Jerry and Terry Melka, the Russells, Bill and Susie, as well as Jim and Cheryl Consul for providing transportation for me to and from choir practices and scheduled Sunday masses. As a way of underscoring my 46-year-long career with the choir. Sounds like a long time, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think I better sit down. I'm going to run through with some personal comments, the various musical directors that had the misfortune of having me as a member.
It's gonna be a long list.
But it was pretty evident at my very first choir practice under John Huseman that I belonged when he paired me up with someone who could not read music. Unfortunately, the unflattering reputation of the men's choir surfaced once again. So John couldn't take it anymore and quit. Well, things didn't get any better when John's replacement quit in the middle of his first rehearsal.
Wow.
With the very existence of the choir now in peril, professional singer and trumpet player Jack Knoll tentatively agreed to lead us. After this stopgap arrangement, the men managed to drag John Huseman back as our leader. But there was one catch. His equally musically talented wife, Bobby, would be heading up a separate women's choir group. As one would expect, there were negative grumblings from some of the chauvinistic men. But the Huseman gambit worked, and the men had to accept singing with the women at Christmas and Easter. Soon, the choir was being invited to sing at other local churches, the Catonsville Historical Society, and the outdoor commissioning of the Catonsville Senior Center on Rolling Road. When the Husbands eventually decided to live in Virginia, the choir was able to lure organist Mary Ann Gregory to take over, though she leaned on Jack Knoll and Bobby Quinn to do the directing. It became clear that the men and the women choir groups had moved beyond their earlier difficulties. Nothing illustrated that more than when Mary Ann was expecting her fourth son, Jack, and all the men showed up at her baby shower wearing baby bonnets. After Mary Ann's fairly long tenure as director, the choir continued to be honored and truly blessed to have had the following remarkable musicians to lead us, namely organist Troy Lawson, organist/singer Melissa Bickford, pianist singer Helen Kirby, violinist singer Jennifer Manganero, organist opera singer Daniel Sampson, and the current director pianist singer Stacy Belenke.
Yes, Stacy.
Let me conclude by simply saying that my long association with the St. Agnes Choir has left me with all sorts of unforgettable memories. But the ones I cherish the most are the friendships I've enjoyed with so many wonderful people. Thank you.
Thank you, Walter.